Hey everybody, and welcome to Derbyshire. I am following an abandoned canal that was opened way back in 1794, and it intermingles with three different railway companies: the Midland Railway, the Great Northern Railway, and even the Great Central Railway just on the edge. I'm on the Cromford Canal's Pinxton Arm. It's a very short canal, a few miles in length, but I think we should be able to follow the majority of the route. So I'm going to begin at Pinxton Wharf and follow it all the way down through Pye Bridge on towards Ironville, where it meets up with the Cromford Canal Mainline. So right now I'm going to jump to Pinxton Basin and I'll see you there. And this is where the journey begins. This is Alexander Terrace. Pinxton Wharf is just on my right hand side. Over there we've got the active Midland Railway that heads off towards Mansfield and Pye Bridge. Further down that way there was another railway, the Great Northern Railway. There was a station there too, closed in 1963. That was Pinxton South Station, and also bits of the Great Central Railway were dotted over there. Many sidings, so Great Central, Great Northern, and also the Midland Railway. The Cromford Canal, well, that starts at Cromford and it passes through places such as Ambergate, Butterley, and on towards Langley Mill, where it meets up with the Nottingham Canal and also the Erewash Canal off to the River Trent. The Pinxton Arm is this little tick of green going off from the main line of the Cromford Canal. If we zoom in, you can see exactly where this is now, look. So we're going to begin at Pinxton Wharf at the very top. The route of the Pinxton Arm also follows many railway lines. One such railway is still in operation today, and going to follow the route all the way below the Midland Main Line, that's the Erewash Valley Line, by Pye Bridge down towards Ironville, where the junction of the Pinxton Arm joins onto the Cromford Canal Mainline. That red line, incidentally, off to the left is Butterley Tunnel, and down to the bottom would be off towards Langley Mill. A look at railmaponline.com also shows you the vast amount of railway lines that were once in the area, the blue being the Great Central Railway, the yellow being the Midland Railway, which is still in operation today, and the red being the Great Northern Railway. And this image shows us a nice warehouse behind the signal box at the level crossing I've just been stood at. Pinxton Wharf is that watered area in the forefront of the photograph. Pinxton South Railway Station was on the Great Northern Line, and this opened on the 1st of August in 1876, simply as Pinxton. Pinxton for South Normanton on some timetables though. It was renamed to Pinxton South in 1954 and then closed just 9 years later on the 7th of January 1963. And lastly, another image of Pinxton Wharf, and we've got some colliery buildings, look, in the background. And coming off Alexander Terrace, this is Pinxton Wharf, the terminus of the Pinxton Arm of the Cromford Canal, mainly built to serve the collieries, coal mining. Pinxton was a very small hamlet a few hundred years ago, and coal mining was a little bit scarce, more like little pockets of open casting. But then the collieries came, Portland Colliery and Pinxton Colliery, and brought traffic and also economy and jobs to the area, thus making Pinxton quite a bit larger. Eventually though, the Portland Tramway would be built, and that would serve the Portland collieries and the area around, taking away the coal traffic that was the staple of this Pinxton Arm. And although traffic continued for a little while longer, Pinxton Wharf and the branch off towards the main Cromford Canal Mainline would dwindle and cause this to go into disrepair and eventual closure. There was other traffic along this route. There was potteries here as well, but once they went out of business too, the railways basically took over and the canal died. Plenty of fishing is permitted on Pinxton Wharf. There was plenty of ducks here when I arrived. I don't know where they've all cleared off to. They seem to have vanished. So down here is the Boat Inn. I think I've got a very old photograph of this particular pub or inn. See if I can do a bit of a comparison between then and now. But just prior to that, leaving the wharf, look, little footbridge there so you can cross over to the other side. You can see the actual canal, look. It's come together and it is completely in water, not at the depth that would be permissible for boats and crafts to go down, although you could do your kayak if you've got one or so forth. but it's still here, and I think it's in water for a good quarter of a mile or so. Not long, but at least it's not completely infilled. Turn you around, look. This looks nice, doesn't it? That's really, really nice. That is the boat inn, and it's been there for an extremely long time. Right behind the boat inn over there, as I mentioned previously, was the Great Northern Railway. Pinxton South Station just over there, but there's also interconnecting sidings coming along, which would have met up with the wharf. There must have been quite a few, and these would have been also to either drop off or connect goods onto the canal and journey on forth. I mean, this looks really, really nice, doesn't it? Just food and beers and wines and everything you'd expect from a nice country pub or inn. I think this is one I'm gonna have to come and visit when it's open. It's around about 9:30 in the morning at the moment, but I think I'll come back. Around about here, just down from the boat inn, there did used to be a swing bridge. It was called the Palmerston Swing Bridge, and I'm wondering if there's any evidence of that anywhere. I don't know what I'm standing on here, but there is some wooden pieces here. Look, I wonder if this is where it was or this is part of it. Look at it. It's definitely an old structure of some sort, isn't it? Looks very narrow. That looks like that's built in, as if this section was naturally just wide enough for a single narrowboat. Carefully stand. Yeah, that's very old, isn't it? And the wall of the canal is there, and I can see brickwork just through there. I'm going to suggest that this wood is part of the original swing bridge, because these are all railway sleepers. But the framework is some kind of bridge. Not necessarily a swing bridge, but I'm going to say this is a bridge on the site of the Palmerston Swing Bridge. I could be wrong. Comment below if I am, but I don't see what else it would be, and it is supposed to be here. Over on that side, more colliery land, and of course we've got the active Midland Railway still operational today. And just ahead, we're going to see part of a former track bed where the Great Northern Railway had a spur that joined off its own line and cut across the land and onto the Midland Railway. So we're at the end of the water section. It's a little weird just there. I'm sure more water comes down that after heavy rain. It collects down there. It's quite a drop down, and then culverts under this road that I'm walking on. Right here is where that track bed came from the Great Northern Railway and shot across here and curved around onto what is still the active line. There were some sidings over there, slight sidings. And from this point we sadly have to bid farewell to the bed of the canal. We have to divert around a footpath which skirts along the edge of the active railway line before eventually I'll drop back down to the canal bed and then on towards Pye Bridge where we can see it properly. I brought myself down here. It's marked on 2 maps, but it's right where this line of bushes and hedges are, which would make sense, wouldn't it? Because they always do that along canals. And another giveaway that this would probably have been the canal bed that I'm actually stood in is these growing here. You often see them in canals, don't you? And if you look, it looks like it's just curving around and heading off over there, doesn't it? You could just see like an outline there and just there. I think we are stood in the canal bed. We've got to take it around there. It curves off to the left. Pye Bridge junction was over there, and that is still in use today on the railway too. It is quite squelchy underfoot, so I'm going to, now we've found it, I'm going to go back again, pick up the footpath and walk my way around towards Pye Bridge junction. So with the canal to my left and the Great Northern Line just the other side, Pye Hill and Summercote Station was just over there. Closed around about the same time as the others on the route. Pye Bridge Junction is just to my right. So the Midland Railway we've had to our right all the way is now joined onto the Ironville Valley line over there. And all this down here, that used to be a chemical works. And the line of the canal is just down there where that hedgerow is. Got this great big mound of land. If you look over there, there's a train going past. Look, you just make that out. So that'll be probably a Leeds to Nottingham. Chemical works is all this vast area down there. We've got to get ourselves over there where the canal passed under the Ironville Valley line, the Midland Mainline today. And just how has the landscape changed? To the left hand side of this photograph, look, that is the chemical works with those oil tanks and lots of industrial buildings just off to the left. The canal is clearly in a rundown condition. Look, we've even got some bottoms of boats just sunk along the edge, look, and there's a nice bridge in the background. And take a note of the curve of the canal and also that cottage on the right hand side, because when I jump to this map, there's the chemical works slap bang in the middle. You can see the curve of the canal and also that cottage next to the bridge, look, just here where the arrow is pointing now. Straight down from top to bottom on the left of the chemical works is the railway that is still active today. We're about to go below that. I can then jump back to another photograph. Look, this is clearly a while later. Many of the buildings have been demolished on the chemical site. Look, the bridge and the cottage is still there, and also the wooden frame of that boat, look, but the water is lower and it is basically just mud with water on top of it, isn't it now? Right, I finally made it around. The canal used to come across here, chemical works down there. The railway line, the active line that you've just seen from above, is just here. Pinxton Canal Bridge. It's more like a small viaduct, isn't it? Going over where the canal once went below the railway. But I like how they've built a little arch within the filled-in arch. Supposed to allow wildlife to pass through, maybe even water. Let's have a look, see what we've got under here then. So this seems quite high, and the one below down here would be what would have taken the canal through. And look, we've still got some remains of it down here, look. How about that? So a genuine section of the old Pinxton Arm, look, going below the railway. We've got the sidewall. It's just as deep as it would have been, look, when it was filled with water. How about that? I didn't expect to find that. You can see where the railway was also widened above. Two different styles of construction and brickwork in there, isn't there? Stonework there separating the skewed bridge going over, and then the more standard straighter one just there. So coming out of here, I can take the path back up, and we do follow the route of the canal. And it should be along the entire route going all the way towards the main line of the Cromford Canal from this point. I'm just pleased I've seen this. You could easily walk past that, couldn't you? Fantastic. Got myself down. There's some steps down on the other side to another footpath, so we're now about to stand in the canal itself, and under the bridge we go. We are now down in the canal bed, look. How about that? That's really good, isn't it? It doesn't look like that's the original stonework just there. I'd say that's been reinforced at some point, or it is the original. It's like it's got some sort of coat, not like a shotcrete on it. There we go, and that's where it went. So down there, a mile or so, up towards Pinxton Basin. It's a curious little area. Look, some old bricks and steps, and that's quite nice, isn't it? It looks like this was a kind of a garden at one time, doesn't it? Been left to decay, hasn't it, sadly? Rockery, and that looks quite recent. It's like they come down here and have fires, and a red brick wall just there, look. That looks very old. That looks older than anything that we've just looked at. And an old pile of bricks just there, look. Look at them, the way they're stacked up. They're quite peculiar, aren't they? See that? Very unusual. So, back up these old steps and we'll carry on towards Pye Bridge. So going forward, the route of the canal, look, it is a heavily wooded area. It's beautiful. Still got some of the autumn colours. It's middle of November 2024 right now, but it's still gorgeous. Coming right up to the road that is Pye Bridge now. I think it's filled in, you know. I think we're going to have to go up and over and down the other side, but I'm sure it does pick up on the proper footpath on the route of the canal, as we've just been doing for the last few minutes. There we go, look, so we're going to have to go up the steps and over the road. You can kind of just make out the full width of the canal. There's a wall through there, look. Canal bed would be here, and the towpath right where I'm stood, completely filled in. But you can just see the iron bars of the bridge, can't you? So I'm going to go up and cross over and back down the other side. There we go, that's what it looks like from above. Now I'm led to believe that this is Pye Bridge, but the fencing on the video footage you've seen showed iron railings going across the top. Now, did these supersede the stone wall which is in this photograph, or is it a completely different location altogether? When I was down on the canal, I could see a great big high stone wall on the far side where I couldn't get to, and that could be it in this picture. So I'm assuming that if this is the same location at Pye Bridge, that wall has been replaced. And back down we go the other side. Nice bit of stonework just there, look. Canal that popped out from under the road, and down here where we're about to pick it up. Now, interestingly, I've just seen what look like railway tracks in that yard, and there used to be sidings over there which were closed a very, very long time ago. I wonder if I should just pop the drone up and try and have a look to confirm that. I swear I saw, I can see them. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Hang on. Right in front of that blue container wagon, look, you see them? Unbelievable. So briefly I'm going to fly over. Now, there didn't appear to be anybody about, but we can look at this track work, look, coming into view down below. Can change this photograph and you can see it going head on. So the canal is to the left. The wharf was round about where those green trees are on the left hand side. But this track work, it just goes in a straight line and appears to go nowhere. This photograph, strangely, it shows that there is even a foot crossing on the track work, which to me suggests that this piece of track didn't just have stable wagons or locomotives on it, but the foot crossing kind of may suggest that it was some kind of siding, and it goes in the direction of the canal and then abruptly stops around where that trailer is down below. Looking at the maps, the green line is the canal, so we've come down underneath Pye Bridge on Main Road, and the wharf is where those two little green ticks are on the left hand side. Change it to the railway, there are some yellow sidings. However, the track we're looking at is up here, so is the mapping just slightly wrong on here? But taking a look at an old map from the early 1900s, you can see the line of the canal coming down and the wharf too. The track work is all the way over here on the left hand side where it says Alfreton Works. However, there is no drawings on this map of track work where it resides today. What's your thoughts on this? Do we know what this track work is or was for? Now, there was a wharf for the canal and the railway just here, and that train track was just over there. So that's got to be a part of that which joined on to this wharf. That must have been what them sidings were for. I just can't believe that that track is still sat there. It's all very golden now. I think it stays like this for a little while, so I'm going to see you a little bit further down. Okay, as the canal curves its way around towards Ironville, the railway came across those sidings, all the Midland Railway sidings scattered around, serving all the industry and the collieries. So there was a bridge that came across here, and the track bed carried on over there. Seems like there's no trace of this bridge though. What has really struck me about this canal is I don't believe any of it so far, what I've walked along, has been built on. The entire route is still there. If you had unlimited money and time and resources, you could come along and probably dig it all out and fill it with water again. But it's just woodland and filled in sections through fields where it has been filled in. Other than that, what was to stop you doing that if you so wish to do it? Obviously you'd need permission and approval and planning permission and all that, but I'm talking from a point of view that this canal it's still here. There's potentially another filled in bridge. Now the water would have been there, and you've got this wall. Someone trimming the hedge, and yeah, so you got the wall on both sides, and then canal does continue on. I don't think that's the original wall, so I think that road may have been put in after the canal closed. Here we go. Coming up, we've got the Midland Railway Centre line, the former Midland Railway up to Butterley, which is now the Heritage Railway. I've not been there for a good number of years, but you've got a junction just down there which joins onto the active line with a live rail connection. So that's really nice to see, isn't it? And stuck below, you've still got the alignment of the towpath, look, canal filled in, not like the one that we passed in earlier. Looks like the route of the canal goes past a housing estate now. There we go, from the opposite end, look. Those old stone cottages up there, line of the canal just below them. We now get to pass below Nottingham Lane. I have to really stoop down for this one, but it's good that we can still go below. That's the Christ Church of Ironville on my left, and just about to come up to where we meet the Cromford Canal Mainline. Probably just a few minutes or so for myself. There's another old bridge here, look. It's very old, isn't it? It's like it's just for a footpath, isn't it? Very, very narrow, just for pedestrians. Wouldn't be the original formation, I'm sure, but dated a long, long time. Actually, just Frodingham it says on there, England. Can't quite work out what that says there. Arpley, something like that. Very nice. So, pretty much in Ironville, and where the canal joined the Cromford Canal Mainline, you can go in one direction towards Butterley and Ambergate, or you can go in the other direction towards Langdon Mill. And I'd love you to comment down below which way you'd like me to go, and then I'll come back and show that video next, either towards Langdon Mill and the Arrowash and the Nottingham Canal, or in the other direction towards Butterley and Ambergate. There's still some railway stuff to look at around the Ambergate area too, isn't there? And here we go, look, Journey's End, where the Pinxton branch joined on to the Cromford Canal Mainline. And how lovely is it that this bridge is still here, and it's not been completely filled in as well, look, because you've got the original stonework there, look, the side of the bridge there, and even the stonework coming out of the side. How about that? That's something else, isn't it? Even on this side, exactly the same. You can see where it widens and tapers out to form the full width of the canal going off towards Pinxton. See where it's filled in on that side, look, and the main line of the canal, the Cromford Canal, is just through there. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, which way would you like me to go next? Towards Langley Mill and the Arrowash and Nottingham canals. I've still got some stuff to do on the Nottingham canal. It's where I did my first ever video, and I need to go back and finish that off, especially as we're coming up to 500 videos. I think that'd be pretty good. Or alternatively, off towards Butterley and Ambergate in the video to follow this one the next time we go on the Cromford Canal. You choose, most comments, which one wins. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I shall be back at Ironville to pick this up in a future couple of videos. We're going to go left and we're going to go right. Which one comes first, you can decide by commenting below. But until then, thank you very much. Please subscribe to this channel for more similar and interesting walks and explores as this one. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye for now.